stuck in a place beyond all time. Oh, stuck in a place beyond all time. Is there any time?
Let me be honest right away. It's all fucked. The book is just gone, and I have no idea why. Well, the book itself isn't gone, but the pages are. All that's left is one word on each page, and these words, when put in order, spell out, indecisiveness begets incompatibility. You are not responsible enough to handle this story, so it has been taken from you. Tread cautiously next time, as our patience wears thin. I don't know what this means. I wish I did, and I guess I have theories, but none of them stick. The use of R is my main point of contention. I'm assuming it's directed at me, but I have no clue by which entity. The bigger problem with the book being more or less destroyed is that this means the reality it housed is also destroyed. Marcus Hartley is dead now. That whole world is dead now. And I think it's my fault. I wasn't able to catalogue it in time. I considered dropping this project. However, this problem makes my work all the more important. If these realities can be killed so easily, archiving them into a separate system outside the physical realm of the library should hypothetically save them. So, the work continues. I've decided upon a new reality to read. This one should be less volatile. Now, let's go on with the updates. My name is Kai. No last name. I am the librarian's assistant. To my knowledge, I've been here forever. I believe I am a human male. As of recording, I am 189 centimeters tall. My hair is 2.6 centimeters long, and my weight is 79.93 kilograms. These are small yet significant changes from my previous check. I am evidently aging. I will continue to update this. Now, just a few more updates and I can continue archiving. I listened back to the previous tape, and every mention of the observer's name has been taped over. This may either be an innate attribute of the observer or something else entirely. Furthermore, my superior has been what can best be described as passive-aggressive. This isn't entirely unlike them, but it has ramped up as of recently. They may know about what I'm doing, but if they do, it's seemingly not bad enough for them to take action. Well, let's get started on this new story. This reality is called Affection Archipelago.
Affection Archipelago. Affection Archipelago. Affection Archipelago. Affection Archipelago. Affection Archipelago. Affection Archipelago. Affection Archipelago. Affection Archipelago. Affection Archipelago.
Ashley's eyes fluttered open. Her vision and head were hazy as she caught sight of her surroundings. Above her was a blaring white ceiling with fluorescent light beaming down onto her. Beneath her, she felt a soft comfort, and there was a pressure laid atop her body. She looked down and saw a white and perfectly smooth blanket. She was in bed. She carefully sat up, her body stiff and oddly sore. She groaned uncomfortably as she looked around the room. She was in some sort of dorm. There were 5 other beds in this room, all doubles. Whilst the ceiling was a bright white, the rest of the room was adorned with pink accents. The walls were decorated with odd pictures. It felt like an ode to some fictionalized view of femininity. One frame simply had a lipstick smudge, another a bright pink handbag. It felt mocking. The most interesting thing Ashley found in the room, however, were the cameras, in every corner of the room, and all of them were pointed at her. Immediately, a lot of thoughts rushed into her head, most of them negative, but she tried her best to keep them rational. She didn't know where she was. She didn't even remember what led up to now. She was totally lost. Then she heard a voice. "Can all contestants make their way to the pit of fire?" The voice was stilted and robotic. Ashley's confusion became unease. Was she on a game show? Is she a contestant? Why the hell is there a pit of fire? Ashley pulled the blanket off of her and swung her legs around to stand up. When she did so, she noticed her peculiar outfit. She was wearing a black bikini, deep purple spiderwebs adorning the top. Her nails were painted a deep black, and most strikingly, her skin was a ghostly pale. Importantly, this was not what Ashley looked like. She was white, yes, but not pale by any means. She pushed the strangeness aside. She had no idea how long it had been, so who knows what happened. She was very content to push it aside until her hair fell in front of her face. It was black. Ashley's hair was brown. Her sluggish movement became quick as she sprung out of bed. She didn't know what to do. This was all so weird. She began pacing around the room until she heard the voice again. Could every contestant make their way to the pit of fire? If you are unsure where it is, just follow the arrows. Suddenly the floor started glowing as large red arrows appeared pointing down the hallway. Ashley was unsure. There weren't many other options, but something felt off. She didn't want to follow the arrows, but it was the only way to get answers. She cautiously went along with it, keeping her eyes perceptive to the surroundings. Anything that could help her understand anything. Her current theory was that this was a dream. Her second theory was that she had a drunk night out and some strange memory loss. Neither theory was compelling. The arrows passed through many areas before reaching their destination. Ashley saw multiple white doors marking food preparation, outfits, enrichment, and cleanliness. The strangest one to her was the red door with the name Entertain scratched into the front. Ashley felt no desire to take any of these detours. She didn't want to overcomplicate the complicated. So she continued until the red arrows led her outside. Her face was immediately engulfed by the sunshine, and when her eyes adjusted, she saw islands. Countless islands spanning a vast and empty ocean. On each island were large, bright, white buildings, all 2 stories tall, but incredibly wide and deep. In front of her was an ocean, however. Instead, she saw a beautiful beachfront area with a scenic pool, sunbeds, and hammocks aplenty. She also saw a fire pit, and surrounding it were 5 women. All the women were incredibly distinct, almost stereotypes. From right to left, there was a woman with glasses, tied-up brown hair, and a blue bikini. A skinny and pale red-haired woman with a green one-piece swimsuit. A tanned and blonde woman in a pink bikini. An overweight woman in a red one-piece swimsuit. And a light-skinned black woman with smooth dark brown hair in a yellow bikini. All of them were talking amongst themselves until they saw Ashley. Ashley waved at them. They didn't wave back, but the one in yellow spoke up. Hey, you got any idea what's going on? Ashley didn't. She seemingly knew less than them. No? Should I? Ashley began walking towards the fire pit. She didn't know why, but she trusted Yellow. You shouldn't, but I was hoping. I'm Kayla. Ashley sat down next to Kayla, expecting to feel warmth from the fire, but she felt nothing. A chime suddenly emanated from the fire pit as the fire disappeared, and in its place, an attempt at a face. At first it just looked like a generic man, but the face was strangely distorted, eyes blending into the cheeks, mouth folding in on itself. The face spoke. It was the same voice she heard earlier. Hello, I am Sunshine, and welcome to the Pit of Fire, contestants. I assume you are wondering why you are here. The voice paused for dramatic effect. It was performing. You are all contestants on Affection Archipelago, and so are all the other islands around you. The voice pauses again as Ashley and the other contestants look at the other islands, noticing they all have near identical buildings to the one they just came from. Each of the islands will both compete with the other islands and with each other. At the end of every week, the islander with the least points will become a stain and be removed. If an island fails to remove a stain, that island will be destroyed. Anxiety was starting to build in the contestants. All were asking the same questions. all coming to the same conclusions. Islanders can get points in various ways. Through the entertain room, by coupling up, and of course, you get a point for every liter of blood you spill. This blood cannot be your own. We at Affection Archipelago do not endorse self-harm. The contestants start freaking out. Most are frozen in shock, but Red and Blue get up and begin walking away. Sunshine speaks up clearly. If you leave the island, you will be considered a stain. You will also get points for removing stains. Now that we all understand the rules, let's introduce our lovely men. In a uniform line, 6 identical men walk out from the building towards the fire pit, all tanned, toned, and not a single hair difference. Hello, we are Johns. The only difference is that each John has a different number tattooed onto their shoulder, from 1 to 6. Red and Blue sit back down, afraid of both the Johns and the AI. Sunshine finishes their speech. Now I will leave you all alone so you can get to know each other. Just make sure to check the scoreboard here regularly so you do not become a stain. The image of the face disappears, and appearing in its place is a scoreboard with 6 names: red, green, blue, yellow, pink, and black. Everyone is at 0 points other than Red and Blue, who are at -1. Everyone is in a whirlwind of emotion, but Ashley composes herself and gets up as she turns towards Kayla. Hey, Kayla, can we speak quietly for a second? Kayla nods her head as she begins to follow Ashley away from the fire pit. The other contestants look at them, but don't speak up. The Johns do, however. What about us? We need to talk to you. We need to get to know each other. Ashley sighs, already annoyed by the presence of the Johns. Oh God, just give us 5 minutes, okay? Ashley and Kayla quickly walk away, the Johns staring blankly at them before turning their attention to the other women. Ashley makes her way to a hammock on the other side of the area. She sits in it and gestures for Kayla to sit next to her. Kayla doesn't, instead standing and looking down at her. What do you need to speak to me about? The book ends there for now. Honestly, at this point, I expected it. It would be stranger if I got through a whole book uninterrupted, to be honest. At least this reality is currently easier to get through content-wise. I'm rather enjoying the lack of cannibalism and vomit, although I imagine it will soon take a turn for the worse. I'm also incredibly happy with the lack of observer. I was worried that would become a recurring theme in these realities. So when this book updates, if this book updates, I'll get back to you, or move on to another one. You. Guess I'm being hopeful that this means something. That all this effort isn't completely pointless. Let's not be depressing, Kai. I'm just rambling now. Bye.
Hello. You do not need to know who I am or what I am doing. I'm a vessel of important information, and you are just going to listen. I have contacted the Observer. They suggested I let go of Kai. I will not be doing that. The Observer has been an acquaintance of mine. Unless something in them has changed, they're not a problem. Kai is a problem, but I am letting him continue his work as an experiment. When I find him boring, I will act. I need to tell you that you're a part of this, the same way the 4 of us trapped in this library are. Goodbye.